INnoVation. Alive. Solar.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another GSL Codes, but not just any GSL Codes. While Tasteless and Artosis are away at the StarCraft Remastered event, the Twitch offices in California, myself and Brendan Valdez, or just Valdez, are going to be bringing you the GSL Codes today. So it's been a while, just like Stone Sour says, feels like forever since we've been here. I think we've actually cast the GSL maybe once or twice before.
Yeah, a while ago. I think it was...
It's been a cool minute.
Was it in the beginning of this year, or was it last
year? Yeah, it's the
year?
beginning of this year, I want to say. But
okay.
It's been a while for us, but it's been a while for the round of 16 as well. So we're going to be showing you all of the info about this next round of the GSL. I do want to point out that we are going to be updating our map pool. You can see that at the bottom of your screen by adding the maps Acolyte and Mech Depot. You might have seen these highlighted in other tournaments like GSL versus the World and, well, it's soon to be SSL, I imagine. But for
eventually,
tonight it's going to be Acolyte and Mech Depot added to the map pool.
Yeah, and you guys can see the groups that we do have here for the round of 16. We're going to be doing Group A, GuMiho, INnoVation, Alive, and Solar. Definitely check out the other groups. We got pretty stacked ones over here for the round of 16, and I think this is definitely one of the strongest, if not the strongest, in the entire pool.
Oh yeah, and if you like Terrans, today is your group. If you like Zergs, then come back next Wednesday. We've got Sue, Dark, and Rogue, and then we sprinkled in a little Protoss Salt with that in Classic to that group. So tons of awesome players. I think basically everyone completely deserves to be here. Still some wild cards. I want to see if Bunny continues looking strong. He's been looking super good in SSL. Yeah. So I want to see if he comes back and kind of makes a name for himself. I think Alive tonight is maybe the player that we are kind of wondering how he measures up against other players that have won their championships.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for him for sure. Everybody else that he's playing against in this one has won a championship, and Alive is kind of really struggling, especially in some of the other tournaments and over in SSL. He's just getting kind of crushed, but we are going to go ahead and introduce the players we got tonight in the first matchup. This is going to be GuMiho, who did take that 2017 GSL Season 2, taking first place. He will be going up against INnoVation, a champion multiple times.
Yeah, now last season, this is where INnoVation's road ended with a surprise defeat in the round of 16. But the round of 16 for Alive is the farthest he's ever been. So if he makes it out of this group, that represents a new high in the most recent seasons of Code S. Of course, he has made it higher before, but this is Solar, a player that is actually, in the last 2 seasons, has an advanced pass around of 32. So for him, he's already rising to new heights.
안녕하세요. 탑시드 고병재입니다. 저는 오늘 조지명식을 보은하는 식으로 끌어갈 거예요. 저 연습 도와줬던 사람들한테 도움을 줄 것이고 기억을 한번 잘 끄집어내서 저랑 연습했던 기억이 있는지 한번 잘 생각해 보시기 바랍니다.
남기웅을 위한 조지명식을 만들겠다. 근데 많은 선수들이 남기웅을 원해요. 이런 부분에 있어서도 어떤 생각을 하세요?
기웅이 진짜 16강 올라오는 거 보니까 저도 진짜 좀 감격스럽더라고요. 되게 오랜만이라서 그래서 도와주고 싶다고 생각을 했고요. 저는 이제 친분이 별로 없는 사람 중에서 뽑으려고요. 종족은 테란에서 뽑으려고요.
아, 테란에서? 네. 자, 그러면요 이재선 선수 마이크 한번 잡아주시죠. 고병재 선수 평소에 좋아하세요?
네, 물론 좋아하고 같은 팀이었거든요, CJ에서. 그래서
그러면은 뭐 안 뽑을 거다라는 그 확신이 좀 있으신 거예요?
네.
네. 첫 번째 주인공을 선택해 주시기 바랍니다.
와!
아니 진짜예요?
이러니까 아니 이게 말이 돼요?
이신영 이게 말이 돼요?
이신영을? 게다가 최근에 보여준 태태전 거의 완벽에 가까웠었는데.
그리고 최근에 엊그제 4,150만 원을
네.
확보하고 이 자리에 올라왔는데 아니 고병재 선수 왜 이신영을 왜 뽑은 거예요? 왜?
많은 사람들이 인노베이션 선수 좀 싫어하시길래 그냥 네 제가 데리고 왔어요. 그리고
우와,
인노베이션 선수 한 번도 뽑아서 그러니까 지명을 해본 적이 없다고 하시길래 이번에 한번 지명도 좀 해보시라고.
아니 고병재 선수 근데 지금 약간 좀 뽑고 떨고 있는 것 같은데요. 지금 약간 버벅거리면 떨어요.
솔직히 자신 있어서 뽑은 게 아니라서
예.
그냥 한번 해보고 싶다 약간 이런.
한번 여기서 한번 부려본다.
고병재 선수도 되게 잘하는 선수여가지고 좀 뭐 어렵기는 하지만 그래도 지명권이 있으니까 그거는 좋은 것 같아요.
아니 잘하는 선수를 이야기하는데 자꾸 웃어요.
아니,
저 미소를 짓고 있어요. 빵 터졌어요 지금.
아 근데 태태전은 항상 자신이 좀 없어가지고.
A조 이 죽음의 조에 가고 싶어하는 선수가 과연 있을지. 한희석 마이크 잡았어요.
드디어 전역조가 나왔거든요.
나옵니다. 전역조예요.
5조인 거에 감사하고 제가 또 스타일이 낮저밤이 스타일이라 밤에 좀 게임이 잘 되거든요. 그리고 솔직히 병재는 무서운데 솔직히 또 지난 시즌 신영이 저한테 한번 쓴맛 봤기 때문에
아 근데 이석이 형 요새 연습 열심히 하시는지.
저 지금 상태 보면 지금 막 나가서 지금 16명 중에 제가 제일 못할걸요? 연습 뭐 해서 뭐해요?
어차피 졌는데 그죠?
대회 전날에는 안 노는데 전전날에 놀게요.
네 알겠어요. 전전날에 논다고요? 그럼 이신영 선수 마음의 결정하고 직접 뽑아주시죠.
괜찮을 것 같은데.
박영훈가요? 강민수인가요?
뒷짐 지어주면서 여유까지.
와 그래 동족전은 싫다. 박영훈가요? 아니 박영훈가 밀고 있어요. 강민수인가요? 야 역시 우승자들은요. 이게 좀 도발하면 도발하면 바로
이상하게 신영이 당하면은 게임이 잘 돼요.
아니 그걸 말해주면 방심 안 하잖아요.
그러니까 연습을 안 할 거라고요.
연습 안 할 거예요?
그러니까 안 해도
그걸로 방심을
이기니까.
시키고.
지난 시즌도 많이 안 했는데 신영이는 이기더라고요. 보니까.
다음 지명도 또 한희석 선수예요.
병렬이나 강민수 선수 말씀.
병렬이나 강민수인데 지금
A조가 가장 빨리 하잖아요. 안 뽑아주셨으면.
그러니까 한희석 선수의 마음을 움직여야죠.
저도 3테란조 너무 부담스러운데 안 뽑아주셨으면 좋겠네요.
강민수나 이병렬 누굴 뽑더라도 누굴 뽑더라도
강민수 안 해요. 받아요.
저에게 최악의 저거든요.
강민수
하필이면
3테란인데 쟁쟁한 선수들이거든요. 지금 많은 분들이 민수 내년에 보자라고 이야기를 하고 있어요. 채팅방에서요.
근데 이게 사전에 말씀 나눴거든요. 근데 이거 너무 가고 싶다고.
그랬어요?
그러셨는데 갑자기
생각을 못했던 게 A조가 가장 빨리 하잖아요. 이제 빨리 하는 걸 좀 싫어해가지고 그래서 지금 걱정이 되네요. 일단 고병재 선수가 저 바꿔주실 거라고 믿고요. 고병재 선수 사랑합니다.
와 그래요. 그럼 이따가 그 큰 그림은 그려주시기 바랍니다. 탑시드 고병재 선수의 손에 그 모든 운명이 달려 있습니다. 우승자 출신의 그 고뇌가 좀 장난 아니죠?
제 거 아닌데도 이렇게 고민이 될 줄은 몰랐네요. 와 이게 자 기웅이한테 한 번 더 물어보고 싶은 게 있는데 생각이 변함이 없는지.
정재영 선택에.
우와! 그 박영호 희망 생겼어. 박영호 희망 생겼어. 마이크 잡아주세요. 희망 생겼어. 고병재한테 맡기라고.
정재영 저거 좀 필요하면 언제든 달려갈게요. 제가
폴리스콘 가고 싶은데 함저그즈는 희망이 없어 보이거든요. 지연이 의견만 무시하시면 모두가 행복해질 것 같아요.
어떻게 하든지 좀 되게 악마의 선택이네요 진짜.
자 마지막 선택 바꿔주시죠. 조지현
일단 조지현을 떼는데 이게 전태양이냐 박용훈이냐.
김도우와 박용훈은 남겨달라고 이야기했거든요.
이게
TI냐
김도우 선수는 전태양 선수랑 바뀌길 좀 원할 것 같은데.
다크 이거 바꿔주세요.
못하죠.
이거는 정말 최악의 조지명식이 돼버렸습니다.
마지막 기회인데. 근데 어윤수 설계가 약간 좀 깨졌어요.
박용훈 안 가요. 아니 설득한 게 정말 설득해서 사람을 움직인 게 정말 무의미해졌어요.
저기 D조에 뭐랄까 빛을 갚아야 되는 사람들이 좀 많이 있어서 어쩔 수 없이 이렇게 하게 됐고, 제가 생각해도 좀 악마 같긴 한데 뭐 누군가는 피해를 보는 거니까 어쩔 수 없이 이렇게 생각하게 됐어요.
for two of our players tonight, it will be their end in the GSL round of 16.
I love those group nominations, man. I love to watch them every time. Just the drama that goes down, and you get to see the way that the groups get formed. And they're not joking when this is the group of death. We have the most recent champion of GSL right here in GuMiho going up against one of the best Terrans, one of the best players, if not the best player in all of Korea right now.
Now, the results might be a little bit deceptive there. It's listing his 0-2 versus Ayasanu and his 0-2 versus Rogue and IEM Shanghai. IEM was not GuMiho's tournament, and that loss there to Ayasanu really kind of surprising. He was definitely in rare form at that tournament. But GuMiho lately, especially in online tournaments, has been fantastic. And not one, but 2 days ago, he played this guy in Masters Coliseum, and it was the sickest series I have seen in a long time. Now, also INnoVation's most recent matches might show a little bit of what he's been going through. He wins the GSL versus the World Finals, dominates TY, and then the next day loses to Stats.
That was the next day, though.
But yeah, it was literally the next day.
He had to, take his party time, go out all night, and then have a match the next night. It was like, could you really expect him to win against a guy like Stats? I don't really think so, but tonight, he's well rested. He's had a bunch of time to practice for this matchup, and I'd have to favor him going into this one, Reed.
It's going to be Newkirk Precinct, Odyssey, and Ascension to Ire as our three maps in this series. Of course, we've got 5 series tonight. Whichever player does win this match will go on to the winner's match. Be played a little bit later on. So let's go ahead and get into our first game of the night. It's GuMiho versus INnoVation.
2017 Hot 6, GSL Season 3, Code S.
In the blue, as our Terran player representing Psystorm Gaming.
Psystorm Gaming, GuMiho.
There he is. Forgot that they say the team name here.
Yeah, we'll get used to it after the first time, no doubt. Having that long stare, he's going up against this guy in the red trunks.
INnoVation.
Crowd cheers for that. Actually insane. Lots of fans here in the audience today, so thanks for coming down and tuning in. I'm sure we'll have ultra long hovers over your faces by the cameramen here any second now. So gonna have an early SCV out onto the map here already. I want to talk about the most recent time these guys played because it was one of my favorite sets that I've watched of all time. Game number 1, INnoVation double proxy raxed GuMiho and then lost afterwards. So it was a little bit shaky. I hope we don't see that this time around. This is probably just to scout and make sure that there are no shenanigans coming his way. He will see the barracks in base and should already be breathing a sigh of relief.
Yeah, it's funny to see INnoVation coming over here and being the annoying one with this SCV. As you mentioned, he, especially on this map, loves to throw out his proxies. Did it against Maru. I believe he even did it against Alive in one of our SSL groups. Not sure if it was this map, but definitely liking to throw out a bunch of proxies on TVT. Feels like, not a lot of SCV scouting gets done, so you can get away with it and kind of know about it before the Reaper gets over there. So these fans have come from Ulsan. So come watch the games.
Yeah, you have to take a very long train from there, so big thanks to them for coming down.
This guy came from Sapporo in Japan.
Oh my god. Shout out to our Japanese viewers. I know we actually do have a Japanese language stream for the GSL, and that's really cool, because I know that there are a couple of Japanese players that do make it out to events every once in a while. I know, I think Psyark plays for Detonation.
Yeah.
And he's my favorite Japanese player. So shout out to the Japanese fans out there if you're watching this stream or our fabulous Japanese language GSL stream. But let's talk about a little bit of what's coming our way, and that is, well, Command Center is about to complete in the naturals of both of our players. And I wouldn't expect too many deviations early on. These guys have definitely played heads up and shown that they are very capable of doing so. And it looks like that's kind of what's in the cards for us here tonight.
That's a cool stat to see that over all time, but also in Legacy of the Void, GuMiho has a winning percentage against INnoVation. I mean, obviously his TVT is quite good, but INnoVation, one of the most winning players, his stats are pretty insane. If you just go on AliGolak and check them out, definitely is up towards the top. We even had them when we were introducing him for 2017. His win rate against Zerg is something like 86%. I don't even know how that's possible, but also has a solid win rate against both Terran and Protoss as well. And he is going to be going for the Cloaked Banshee play here, channeling a bit of his inner Maru.
Now, this is a build that he pulled out versus GuMiho in the last series that they played, and actually got a lot of damage done with it early on. The problem comes after the early harassment has finished up, and you get into these big macro games with tanks and Marines out there. GuMiho just has a better understanding of how to maneuver them, how to break big positions, and he really illustrated it most recently. So Scouting Reaper gets in, and we'll see all three of the buildings you expect to see, but won't get a whole lot more information out of that.
Oh, but look at this.
Oh my goodness, perfect positioning. He can actually even lock on, and Cloak isn't done, so he can actually wind up killing this Banshee before it ever reaches his base. Terrible start for INnoVation.
Yeah, what a fantastic path for GuMiho to go on, just straight down the middle. And INnoVation, you know, you got to question him sending that straight down the middle. Perhaps he wasn't expecting too much aggression out of GuMiho this early on. But with that pickoff on the Cloak Banshees, he knows that he's ahead, and he throws down a quick third command center. INnoVation is going to do the same in his natural, but GuMiho is still going for a bit of aggression here.
This is what we like to refer to as optimism.
Oh, that wasn't canceled.
He just lost the command center. Oh my god. All right, so trying for the hot pickup, or at least a little bit of medevac micro. He will save two, lose that one. GuMiho gets in. It's a few SCV kills, but most importantly, gets a kill, not a cancel.
And look at this one lonely Viking. INnoVation isn't even pulling. Oh man. This is so much damage. 10 SCVs. We'll see what INnoVation can get done with this Banshee at least.
That's right. Finally, there is a Banshee in there. Lots of damage being done on both sides, but kind of surprisingly enough, it's a Banshee that is still continuing to get worker kills here. We're up to 7, 8 kills on the other end. Look at this sexy micro. Picks off the one Cyclone there, and well, we'll lose the others. But this Cloak Banshee damage is coming in. INnoVation already picking off 10, 11 SCVs.
Yeah, I really got to hand it to him that he can keep his multitasking up, defending as well as possible while doing a bit of damage. It seemed like both players were really taxed in their multitasking at that point in time. So where do we stand after all of this? It looks like GuMiho is quite far ahead, already 21 supply ahead, has had that third base up. Not really running. It is, though, set down at the third base location and ready to go, whereas INnoVation hasn't completed his third command center yet.
Yeah, so you can see a slight worker discrepancy. That's more than accounted for by GuMiho already having his base up at the third. Already get that up and started. Second Scouting Reaper comes in here for INnoVation, so that's actually going to be good enough to at least see the natural base up, and should go scout the third here coming up pretty soon. I don't think he's been up there yet. Nope, he's actually not going to see that. I don't know if we can check the vision, but...
no observer PC for here.
Oh well, I'm just going to assume that he hasn't seen it, but should know, hey, there's a third coming up on the way. And INnoVation does have an orbital of his own, but because he also took quite a bit of economic damage, it makes sense to kind of leave that there, pump up your SCV jam, and then float it off to the forward third base.
Look at this positioning. He's covering the ramp with those two tanks. This is going to be very hard for INnoVation to get in.
The landed Vikings and then ferrying the Marines right over the wall. This is actually really cool, but I'm not sure how effective this is going to be. He needs to take out that Cyclone. Cyclone's so good at busting through these tanks. He gets up close and personal, takes out both of GuMiho's tanks, and INnoVation holds on immaculately.
That was looking pretty good for GuMiho, but then INnoVation with the very clean hold, just getting one tank on either side and a nice spread against only the two tanks. There wasn't much support for him either. And you can see that meanwhile, the double upgrades coming in for INnoVation. He's definitely coming back from behind in this one. Was able to throw down his third base now at that location. That's a little bit closer to GuMiho, in fact. Maybe he wants to put on a bit of aggression, but as I say that, GuMiho is the one moving out again. This guy is pretty relentless, Rapid.
He certainly is, but I feel like this is going to be not necessarily death by 1,000 cuts, but just little tiny advantages compounding themselves. For GuMiho, he seems to be coming out just barely ahead on each one of these trades, and maybe he tried and didn't get a lot done with that last drop, but his economy is just that little bit ahead of INnoVation and should continue in that direction. But now we get a chance to see both players like take a little bit of a breather, tech up to their next round, and that's going to include these +2 upgrades on the way for INnoVation, and on the other side, just really powering through the Marines, getting that Air Force Viking count up there on GuMiho's side.
Yeah, GuMiho definitely focusing more on that, whereas INnoVation's double upgrades definitely going to help out his infantry force on the ground, even begins his vehicle upgrades for his tanks as well.
Also, just not finishing combat shields. I didn't catch whether or not that was just a miss or just delayed based on how things happened earlier. But
could have been delayed after the stim pack. This is a pretty sexy scouting SCV.
GuMiho just barely saw the medevac, so if he's super vigilant, then he will be able to see, or then he'll be ready for that. But I don't think he will respond. He's kind of waffling back and forth in the middle, but drop coming into the third.
Yeah, coming in. The scan comes down by GuMiho. It is just going to be one medevac full of Marines. It does unload underneath a missile turret, but
keeps
even
unloading.
just 5 Marines.
Drops the rest of the Marines down the cliff. Unfortunately,
GuMiho looking for an angle here.
He is going to be pushed back immediately, but he still has the potential there. That medevac does survive, but now trying to run in. Whoa, that is not the avenue you want to take, but it's turnabout fair play as both players. Look at all that blood in the middle of the map.
INnoVation's like, well, you got a couple of pot shots. Let me give you a couple too. Why not? Got to even up the playing field here a little bit.
I love how, we used to see medevacs take around siege to tanks, but now that you can't do that, the Terran players have now been forced to add in extra medevacs, unsiege their tanks, pick them up, and then continue to run them around. Drop is pushed away once again. INnoVation is kind of going to keep that medevac stuck there for a while. So what was interesting in the last time these two guys played is that a couple of times they just refuse to expand because you're trading armies so frequently. So you'll see them just completely mine out 1 or even 2 bases and then float their command centers across to other locations. And this might be the case for INnoVation this time, but GuMiho has secured a 4th base. INnoVation, I mean, maybe that's the advantage he needs. He's starting 3-3 upgrades, and that could have been a command center.
Yeah, INnoVation does have his 4th command center finishing up right now. Going to be looking to float that over to the 4th base location.
Yeah.
That sensor turret, that sensor tower is going to be pretty much perfect, but there's a small hole down at the bottom.
And that might just be exploited. These 2 Vikings that have been on patrol here for GuMiho see the vulnerability, and you can see from the INnoVation's perspective, he's just barely going to scout them out with that one tiny little Marine. Will he be ready for it? He does have a semicircle of missile turrets. INnoVation, though, out of position. If he had gone for that, that could have been disastrous.
The turrets are going to be good enough, and the Vikings coming over here are going to be more than enough to hold this off. So INnoVation with a nice hold, good setup. Was a little bit late. It was looking scary.
Yeah.
If GuMiho could have boosted in and gotten those units in position, it really could have pulled INnoVation apart, but he stays in it, sticking in this one. Look at GuMiho adding double star ports and the fusion core as well. He's going to be going hard.
Going to late game. Now, probably that is for Liberator range, but in my heart of hearts, I want to see battle cruisers. This is exactly like played a game earlier on today. This was my strat, except I did go battle cruisers, and it was a terrible decision. As far as things go right now, GuMiho certainly seems like he's looking towards the future, maybe a little bit more. But the 3-3 upgrade's about to finish here for INnoVation. And Marine DPS, I've been playing a lot of StarCraft Remastered, and it's just not that great. StarCraft 2, it's insanity. And so that upgrade advantage could just give INnoVation what he needs to push through part of GuMiho's army.
Scans are always coming down here, and GuMiho is still looking for an angle, but with that second sensor turret up for both of these players, now with 2 on the map, it's definitely extremely hard, exceedingly hard to find a good angle to get in here. And We'll see if GuMiho wants to do it. I feel like generally in TVT, the player that's being more proactive on the map, a little bit more aggressive, is generally in a better spot. You can force your opponent into weird positions with his siege tanks, and that is what he's trying to do here.
No, that is the advantage that you have in TVT when you are the player who's being more aggressive, because siege tanks take time to siege and unsiege. Also liberators, as those get added in and on. That's the fatigue that sets in TVT, is sieging, unsiege, siege, unsiege, and also the air battle. So if you're ahead of the game a little bit, then your opponent just keeps lagging further and further behind as they try to siege up and unsiege and move to match your movement.
I like what GuMiho is doing on the map. He's making INnoVation take so long to get across the map while he is going for multiple expands at all of his available locations, basically. Already taking 2 towards the north. Hasn't cleared up the rocks on the bottom side yet, but we'll see if he does go for that eventually.
This is like Sauron Terran, where you just realize the game is kind of stalemated, and so you just expand everywhere, except for the expansion that's blocked by rocks. Man, INnoVation taking quite a few rough trades here, but with the Liberator range only just now started for their INnoVation, GuMiho could use that as an advantage since his is already finished, but I don't actually think he has any Liberators, so that upgrade won't be coming to bear just yet.
Look at this play, though, by GuMiho. This is about 4 medevacs worth of Marines just stimming on in. They get shocked by a tank, but they're going to get on top of these starports to get the advanced ballistics. A fantastic upgrade to take out at this point in time.
Oh, he's going to take out the starports themselves. Oh, just one of them. The other being repaired by a few SCVs. He's going to have the high ground. We all know what that means. Well, it's not the advantage he needs right now, but he will pick up Boostio out of there and drop at yet another expansion. GuMiho just going into this guerrilla Terran aspect where it's just dropping everywhere, running tiny groups of Marines around and kind of running INnoVation ragged. Not there, but everywhere else.
Yeah, INnoVation was ready to go there, and this will come at a cost. He's going to lose all of those medevacs, and running his Marines into a larger army, definitely not what you want to do. Looks like 2 Marines down here, though. We're able to do a nice chunk to INnoVation's economy at his 4th base.
Wow. So after all is said and done, INnoVation does have a pretty massively larger army and SCV count. So, yeah, he's got the larger army, smaller SCV count. Ugh. Numbers are hard, guys. I made it happen eventually, so I did a thing.
Figured it out.
But now we get a chance to see these armies come to bear. Keep in mind, no advanced ballistics, so these are not going to be very ranged liberators. In fact, every liberator is going to go down. Almost every liberator.
Just one left over, but GuMiho makes a case here and says, no, you cannot push any farther because I've got more Vikings ready to go. INnoVation still does want to go in, but look at the tank line is perfect from GuMiho. The literal line in a row of tanks, and now he's got more Liberators. It looks like more Vikings. He's going to win this position here. Gotta be careful to take the fight, though, with your Vikings. Got to be sure you have more.
Especially after sniping those 2 starports and the ranged ballistics. GuMiho should know that he has that big advantage. He's building 5 Liberators at a time right now. Wow. Really trying to cash in on having that upgrade advantage, but I think he's slightly behind in the Viking count.
I think it's pretty close. We got a nice position here for INnoVation. He's pushing in onto the planetary. That is a mass amount of tanks.
Needs to repair it. Oh, he's just not fast enough on the SCV pull. The planetary will fall. Air armies trading back and forth. Oh, this is just so complex, but yet again, GuMiho decides...
There's no tanks. There's no tanks
run
here.
Past, yeah, INnoVation. I don't know if he F2'd all of his tanks away, but he's going to get 1, maybe 2 command centers.
Yeah, it should be at least the 2 command centers.
Oh my god, he's going to get
tanks on the high ground, though.
Both of them, and pull back and get a great concave. Look at this advantage. He doesn't have the medevac support, so ultimately everything will die for GuMiho, but lots of damage done.
This guy is sick good, man. This is incredible TVT. I mean, I was talking lots about INnoVation, how he's so good, but even he doesn't really do this in this matchup, and GuMiho is making such good use of the very wide mid-ground of this map. It gets split right down the middle, and he says, you might have sensor towers, but Marines, they're really fast. They're hyped up on their drugs, and they're going to stim into your natural.
They certainly are. You know, a lot of times it feels like there's like a gentleman's agreement. It's like, okay, we siege our tanks, and then we have our Marines, and our Vikings, and our medevacs, and all this stuff. GuMiho was like, no. you don't understand. We're running around, we're doing these wacky moves, and now we're going to see all of our armies come to bear. Not a lot of Marines here for either players. It's just all about the Air Force, and GuMiho's got a little bit more.
INnoVation kind of falling apart. He's like, okay, gentlemen's agreement. I've got a lesser army, though. GG, GuMiho. Wiping the floor with INnoVation in game number 1.
Crushing it, man. I gotta say, he looks great on all of his Terran mechanics. He was able to defend perfectly against that first Cloak Banshee, and that really kind of told the story for the rest of the game.
I'm very curious to see what this guy can do on a different map. He looked pretty sick good on Newkirk Precinct. Odyssey is going to be the second map that we are going into. Definitely can be played out a little bit differently. You know, we could see some big Duke drops in the main on this kind of map. Maybe INnoVation's got to play there.
Anything is possible. GuMiho seems to be more willing to kind of break the norm and think outside the box. Well, he's up one game, only one game away from advancing on to our winners match. Next map is Odyssey.
Looking focused, INnoVation.
Looking emotionless.
A little bit bored, you know. Maybe he didn't update his drives before this game.
He's like the Mr. Potato Head that forgot all of his other faces. He just only has that one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, PotatoVation versus GuMiho. Game number 2 is coming up.
GSL Season 3, Code S.
In the blue, as our Terran player, in the upper left-hand side, he is
Psystorm Gaming, GuMiho.
I love how they got that robot voice going on.
Comes from a pretty cool robot dude.
Yeah, I know that robot dude. He's a pretty nice dude. Down here in the bottom right, the red Terran, losing game number 1.
INnoVation.
No team for him just yet.
No. Every team out there is thinking to themselves, they're just like, if only we had a player to sign. Now, who would we sign? There's just no good play. No, man. You got to sign this guy. Either way, let's talk about the early SCVs coming out there and the very early ones for GuMiho. Interestingly enough, GuMiho's player name in the loading screen is Cranky Pants.
Cranky Pants. All the way from Minnesota, USA.
Hey, Minnesota.
What's up, guys?
Been up there a couple times.
Looks like we had a hockey fan there in the audience.
Yeah, they play a little bit of that up there. When everything's frozen, you kind of got to just figure it out. And basketball doesn't work so well on ice, so you got to figure out other sports to play.
StarCraft on ice. That would be fun.
It's a musical coming to a city near you. Unfortunately, coming to a Terran base near you is going to be a couple barracks. And this is going to be a little bit rough. We'll see how well INnoVation can hold off against GuMiho's very early pressure.
Yeah, he did get the scout in the main. He knows something's up. Saw the 2 gases. He's like, okay, it's probably Reapers. Let me try to get out of this factory as fast as possible. He's already got this 1 Marine out and a couple of SCVs pulled onto the ramp here, the cliff. But actually, that's not where GuMiho is coming from.
The mind games here. GuMiho coming right up the front, knowing that there would be SCVs pulled the other direction. Now, we've already seen this on the other side. INnoVation tried to double proxy racks GuMiho previously in their last time they met. It worked out, and then it didn't work out, and they both kind of threw it away, and then INnoVation wound up losing earlier on. So now this is the shoe on the other foot. GuMiho has his turn to try to get this damage done.
And he's doing a nice job with his grenades, but I hope he doesn't overdo this because INnoVation is like 300% prepared. Okay, here we go, though. Coming in with his Reapers, he's going to lose 1, picks off all the Marines, but he loses 2 of his Reapers in the process.
He does lose a few of those Reapers, but there's a contingency plan on the other side for INnoVation. He's like, okay, well, you've got all your stuff over here, so you probably just don't have that much on the other side. The scouting SCV lives to fight on and might just take its vengeance in the form of building a starport that has a Liberator on the way.
This guy, he is so smart. He's gonna see it.
Just barely. So sexy, and now he's instantly going to be moving into probably something to deal with that. Yeah, Cyclone halfway done.
I wonder what tipped him off. Was it the buildings in the base? Was it the fact that that SCV that scouted him never came back home? Either way, GuMiho just on top of everything here. INnoVation will have an opportunity, though, with this first Liberator and a couple of Hellions that are moving across the map. Is going to lift right after and go straight into the main. There is a Cyclone ready, though, already locked on.
Now, Cyclones do not deal a lot of damage to air, so this is still going to be at least marginally effective. It's going to deny a little bit of mining time, but as you can see, no SCVs killed. Once this gets taken out, I'm not sure about the siege, unsiege.
Oh.
What? No, you can still fire at it.
Oh, just kill it.
There you go.
3 SCVs go down and so much wasted mining time.
Yeah, that's the real victory there, the wasted mining time. So a little bit of damage done on both sides. I think if you look at the worker count, you can see that INnoVation might have gotten a slightly bigger advantage there. But all of that should actually even out. I don't think either one of these players are going to be too willing to just go for the kill just yet. We usually see harassment on both sides, but because these two players are possibly the two best players in the world, like GuMiho just won GSL, INnoVation just won GSL versus the world, both insanely talented players, so things generally even out and then go into the next phase of the game, but GuMiho is going to put on some pressure.
Yeah, the perfect timing on the bunker, even though that CC was scouted out, there is not much that GuMiho can do. He can't run by, he cannot poke the front, and so he'll just have to live with being behind for now. He's not going to quit there, though. He's going to send out a Liberator into the main, try to draw some of these Cyclones back to deal with that. And a third command center coming down here from INnoVation. He is not messing around with this economy.
Every once in a while, I just want to see a player who does like the insane follow-up all-in, because guys like INnoVation are going to think this through. They're going to say, okay, well, things are stabilizing. We're both really smart and good at holding everything off, so chances are this is going to the late game. Let's just get there a little bit ahead of time. Now, here comes, it's GuMiho's turn to get this Liberation on, and INnoVation's not fast enough on the SCV pool. It's going to lose so many before they can get out of range.
5 in total. Will it be a 6th? No, it'll be a Hellion, and then it'll be a 6th. And a little bit of damage on that Cyclone. That is a very valuable Liberator at this point in time for GuMiho.
GuMiho's just like, oh, Liberators, I can build one of those. Sends it over, does get a lot of damage done in the same mining time, but everything is going to be cleaned up, and with that earlier third command center, that should put INnoVation in a pretty good spot.
I do like the response out of GuMiho, though. He was putting down a third command center of his own. You were talking about the mindset of like, okay, this is going to settle down. We are going to go into the late game. Yeah. Might as well get a little bit greedy. Well, GuMiho was kind of like, okay, I'm behind. I have to be greedy too. And he eventually did see the third CC of INnoVation as well. And he's like, okay, I can easily get away with this. And so he is going to be behind, but it's not going to be by a gigantic margin.
I just love the usefulness of extra Reapers that are left over. Every unit has a purpose. It doesn't just wear out after a certain time. You can always find something to do with it. Sending those back in, getting the scout, and getting back out. It's pretty good.
Yeah, every Reaper has a purpose. Ex-cons.
There's a lesson there to be learned. If you guys feel like you're Reapers and you just always get play of the game every day of your life, then you too have a purpose out there. But either way, nice, I want to call those, what are they, scouting Cyclones? They're just out there making sure that there's
They're
no
like
third
probing
base.
units.
Yeah. GuMiho just trying to get the extra information that he needs to feel out INnoVation and discover what to do next. But like you were pointing out, Valdez, there is no third base here from GuMiho, so theoretically he should be able to just hit a super sick power push that is able to bowl INnoVation over.
Well, I was talking about how he did make that third base and is sending that out to the third base location, actually at a very similar time.
That feel when I should have said
GuMiho.
No third base yet. Well, there it is.
Yeah, just appeared on the location. We're not sure how it happened.
All right, that's my mulligan for the day. We all get one.
It happens.
Third base is taken at exactly the same time from both players. Every time I say things like that, the volume on everybody's viewing gets a little bit lower. It's like, no, gotta set it back up there. But this should be our little breathing point of time. So if you want to like put the game on your phone and go into the kitchen and start making your sandwich, then now's probably that time. But
well, I mean, when you are watching GuMiho TVT, it is always dangerous to do that, especially after watching game number 1. He's like, oh, I'm just going to move out, but INnoVation, the better position here. GuMiho, he's walking right into it.
Ooh, terrible, terrible damage there. The tank hits very good for INnoVation, who has the faster siege. A couple of auto turrets go down, but they are not long for this world.
INnoVation says, okay, I got him caught out in the middle of the map. Let's sprint towards the third base, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Here we go. Put down your sandwich, guys. We got some TVT to watch. INnoVation springs the trap on the third base, does the siege on the tanks on the low ground, does have that scan on the high ground, and the tank shot's so good. INnoVation.
Oh, I love this picture-in-picture, too. It's like the winning player and then that sad, sore loser in the bottom right.
I just love our sick 80s music here. INnoVation, when he wins, we take a trip back to the future. That's where INnoVation's from. He just comes back here to win GSL games.
Well, if this was your calling, it's what you gotta do.
This is like the theme to Kung Fury or something. So sick. I love it when INnoVation wins games, but can Cranky Pants come back, Valdez?
His name is really Cranky Pants.
Yeah.
Versus player. Interesting.
What a player. But
player 1 is INnoVation.
GuMiho's pants a little crankier after that game. INnoVation springs the trap, stims forward, sieges up his tanks, and those arc light cannons are not things you want to have on top of every unit you own. So evening up the score, that's going to send us to our final game of our first best of 3 series on Ascension Ire. GuMiho versus INnoVation. Which player moves on? Turns out that was an actual question instead of a rhetorical one.
Oh. GuMiho.
2017
or INnoVation.
Hot 6.
Or
GSL
GuMiho.
Season 3.
Or
Code S.
INnoVation. Let's go. In the blue, as the Terran, in the upper left-hand corner, he is
Storm Gaming, GuMiho.
He's not just Storm Gaming GuMiho, but he's also getting proxied.
Dun, dun. Yeah, INnoVation. We've seen this time.
INnoVation.
Wow, did I really just spoil that?
You did?
Sorry, guys. Spoiler alert. Also, yesterday in Game of Thrones. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody closes the stream. We drop 1,000 viewers. No, this is a double proxy Rax start for INnoVation. Turnabout fair play. He is going to go for it again. Well, GuMiho knows exactly what this looks like. This was game number 1 in the last time they played.
Yeah,
INnoVation.
GuMiho just did it too, so he's like, okay, I'm going to go out and
Watch
scout
this
this
SCV.
time.
Watch this SCV. Dun, dun. He knows. It's not even like a Sixth Sense kind of thing. It's just a, wait a second, I know this feeling. At least one of the barracks will finish because one SCV gets there a little bit ahead of schedule. These SCVs can actually repair each other, so 1 versus 2, not great numbers there for INnoVation or for GuMiho.
Yeah, might as well just send it back home and try to get some mining done. But you could see INnoVation with a little bit of the sour lips going on. He's like, oh, he spotted my proxy. And yeah, it's definitely not going to feel good. GuMiho should have a very nice defense, much in the way that INnoVation did. Just make a couple of Marines, pull some SCVs, and you'll just be fine.
Sometimes, actually, INnoVation does that thing with his mouth that Artosis does when he's playing. Like, kind of talks to himself. Like, well, I scouted my proxy racks. Oh, that's highly unfortunate. Execute, plan B, termination. It's happening here. I'm not sure he's going to get too much damage done with these racks, but, I mean, at least it's an aggressive opening that's going to prevent, I don't know, a natural being built on base.
GuMiho's doing the same thing to him. He's like, okay, I'll proxy my own starport over here, and these Reapers do get up onto the high ground, but will have to retreat. The question is, will INnoVation have the same Sixth Sense to know?
Oh, the KD8 charge actually bounced the Marines towards one of the Reapers, almost took it down. The Hellions should be able to get out here, clean everything up, and GuMiho will be airtight. The follow-up, though, another proxy starport as a retaliation.
Yeah, doing the same exact thing, as I said before, and we'll see what this can get done with that Liberator. INnoVation, will he know that this is going on? If he takes the GuMiho kind of impression where he's like, okay, I did that to him in game 2, he could easily do this to me in game 3 and scouts it, then maybe he'll have a good idea. But also, GuMiho's Hellion does get into the main and scouts a bit.
Yeah, if GuMiho had been like seconds faster, he would have been able to kill the SCV that was building the factory. That slows down the Cyclone and means that the Liberator that's just about to finish would have been able to deal terrible, terrible damage, as is. It will come in here and probably deny a lot of mining time, but whoa, the and one push. Tech Lab being added on there for GuMiho.
It's going to be a very similar spot where the Liberator won't get too many SCV kills, but it will take a long time to die to just one Cyclone. Will INnoVation expect the follow-up of Cloaked Banshees is the real question. I don't think so. That's like too crazy.
Oh yeah, I was actually going to call like Ravens. Ravens are like the long-term choice here. If you're going to double down, you get the Raven, then even though it's a little bit surprising, it's not, going to be too unexpected. The Cloaked Banshees, though, wow. GuMiho just, so smart.
And INnoVation not making a Raven of his own, he's going for his own later Cloaked Banshees. That is really unfortunate. If he had a Raven, that would be perfect for when this Banshee would come in. He would have stuff to deal with it, but now he's going to be in a rough spot.
Or if he just went like a Scouting Viking, maybe that would have been the option. But as is, GuMiho, he's setting up to be in a great spot. Now, on the other side, INnoVation is going to run his Reapers from before in, and because there's just absolutely nothing back in GuMiho's base, he'll take a little bit of SCV damage. Turns out it's not actually that much, so this Banshee, I can't wait to see. I hope they show us INnoVation's face as soon as GuMiho cloaks this over his workers.
He's pretty screwed. He has one Cyclone and one Banshee. What are you going to do?
Watch this cloak hit. GG.
Wow. Burn it down.
GuMiho, looking so good. Very unconventional, not the TVTs of yesteryear. These are very modern, very intelligent. He will take out INnoVation 2-1.
This guy has a sick TVT mind. I know my original prediction was INnoVation, but after seeing game 1, I know that GuMiho won it, but I was all on the GuMiho boat. And it makes sense that he brings INnoVation into his group. Like in the group nominations, you might think, well, you're a crazy man, GuMiho. But actually, if he's this confident to take out INnoVation in a best of 3, you might as well try to take him out in your round of 16 so you don't have to fight him in a big series later on.
We're going to head to a quick break. When we come back, it's Alive versus Solar.